You ever notice that the people yelling tax the rich the loudest are usually the ones already rich? It's the same politicians and pundits sitting on million-dollar portfolios telling you to resent success while quietly enjoying theirs. Because here's the truth: tax the rich isn't an economic policy, it's a slogan, a chant that sounds righteous but means absolutely nothing once the cheering stops. Hi, I'm Barry, and this is the Barry Valino podcast. Today, we're breaking down taxing the rich and why it's the most overused and least understood statement in politics, why AI still doesn't understand empathy, and why people putting up Christmas decorations in November might just be the real menace to society. I think the most overused and least understood statement in politics is tax the rich. Sure, it has a kick to it, it sounds righteous, it even fits on a t-shirt, which makes it cool, but it's not an economic strategy, it's a chant. And every time I hear someone say it, I know the conversation is over before it even began. Because if your idea of an economic policy fits on a bumper sticker, you're not thinking, you're cheering. And the crazy thing is this: the people shouting the loudest, the ones claiming that the Tax Cuts Jobs Act was designed to help Trump's billionaire buddies, are often millionaires themselves. That's right. That's why they say the word billionaire, because they're millionaires and they don't want you to notice their own hypocrisy. Pelosi, Jeffries, Schumer, Sanders, AOC, they all act like they're fighting for the average Joe, but it's been decades since they were average Joes themselves. They're out of touch. And yet, here they are raising outrage against other people's success while quietly enjoying their own behind closed doors. The reality is this: how much some rich guy makes or what tax bracket he falls into doesn't change what happens at my kitchen table. His tax rate doesn't make my groceries cheaper or my gas tank fuller. So all of this leaves me wondering, when did sticking it to somebody else become the measure of happiness in this country? When did we start believing our joy depended on someone else's loss? That's not economic justice, that's envy rebranded as virtue, and it's poisonous to any society that wants to grow. You see, the top 10% of earners already pay about 70% of all federal income taxes. The top 1%, roughly 40%. That's not getting away with murder, that's carrying the load. So no, the Tax Cuts Jobs Act doesn't give the rich a greater percentage of tax cuts than the average Joe. It's just math. When you're paying hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars in taxes, your savings looks bigger because your bill is bigger. That's how percentages work. And finally, people seem to forget something, right? The rich are the ones who create jobs, invest in businesses, and drive the economy everyone depends on. So maybe instead of demonizing the rich and acting the victim, it would be better to focus on earning your own slice of the pie instead of complaining about how big someone else's slice is. Because while the folks are busy yelling tax the rich are busy creating the next big thing the rest of us will be buying tomorrow. And if you want to join their little club, then I suggest you do a lot less complaining, a lot more grinding, and start building that next big thing. Hey, before we jump into the next segment, if you're enjoying the show so far, go ahead and hit that like button, share, and subscribe. And while you're at it, turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss a new episode when they drop. All right, let's talk about why Sam Altman thinks AI can replace actual people, and why that's not just wrong, it's just ridiculous. So every few months, some tech executive gets on stage and declares that AI is about to replace another set of jobs. This time it's Sam Altman from OpenAI, saying roles like customer support will be, quote, totally gone. Totally gone like they never mattered. And he's not the first to say it, and he won't be the last. But it's always the same tone. The kind you only hear from people who've never actually done the work they're talking about. Now, I worked in IT support, early in my career. If Altman thinks AI can replace customer service, he's never spent a Monday morning helping someone reboot their laptop while they're crying because their entire project file disappeared. That's not fake work. That's emotional triage. Walking people through panic and frustration while pretending you have a magic wand when really you just have patience. AI might know what to say, but it doesn't know when to mean it. And that's where the AI will replace everyone crowd misses the point. They keep picking jobs that depend on something AI doesn't have: empathy. Take teachers. Sure, AI can probably quiz a kid on fractions, but can it see the look in a student's eyes when they're pretending to understand something they clearly don't? Can it catch the moment when a kid's confidence starts to crack and remind them that they're smarter than they think they are? How about nurses? AI can read vitals, but it can't read faces. It doesn't know the difference between pain and fear. A nurse does, because they see the person, not just the patient. Or therapist. AI can echo your feelings all day, but it doesn't care. It doesn't feel the lump in your throat or the weight behind your silence. And what bothers me the most about this not real work idea, because what's being dismissed as not real, are the very jobs that hold civilization together when things break. Support agents, nurses, teachers, counselors, social workers, these are the people who do the kind of labor that makes life bearable. You can't automate care. You can imitate it, sure, make it sound friendly, make it sound human, but the minute something goes wrong, you realize you're talking to a program that doesn't actually give a damn. And look, I'm not anti AI. Heck, I use it myself because I'm a one-man show. I don't have an editor, a production team, or an assistant named Debbie scheduling my meetings. I've got AI, and it's great for that. I mean, it's like having an intern who never sleeps, but also never really understands what you meant. It's a tool. It makes my work faster, sometimes easier, sometimes and occasionally, smarter. But that's all it is, a tool. The second you start treating it like a replacement for human judgment, empathy, or creativity, you stop using it and you start worshiping it. So, no, Sam Altman, customer support isn't fake work. It's the kind of work that reminds us why we built technology in the first place: to make people's lives better, not delete people from it. All right, so let's lighten things up before we wrap. Because if AI taking over humanity doesn't scare you, the people putting up Christmas decorations in early November probably should. You know what's wild? It's barely November, and half the neighborhood already looks like Santa's compound. I mean, some people treat Halloween night like it's a pit stop on the way to Christmas. The trick or treaters haven't even finished their candy yet, and boom, out come the 12-foot inflatables, the synchronized light shows, and Mariah Carey on repeat. Look, I mean, I love Christmas, but if you're decking the halls before the turkey's even defrosted, you might have a problem with pacing. There's supposed to be a build-up, a season. You can't just skip straight to joy like it's a Netflix show you're binge watching. Give Thanksgiving a chance to breathe, for crying out loud. there's this. Here's the thing, guys. I mean, here's my theory. I mean, the people putting up Christmas decorations in early November, they're usually the same monsters who still have them up in March. You know who you are. Your reindeer sun bleach, Santa's missing an eye, your inflatable snowman every time the wind blows looks like it's melting in protest. I get it, man. You want to hold on to the magic. But come on, if your lights are still up when the kids are out hunting for Easter eggs, you're not spreading cheer anymore. You're creating confusion. Christmas doesn't need to last a quarter of the year to be meaningful. It just needs to mean something while it's here. You've been listening to the Barry Volino podcast. If you like what you heard, hit the like button and share the video. It really helps get the word out. And if you want to see more of my content, click subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a new episode from yours truly. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, stay out of the left lane if you can't keep up.